Please welcome this week's special guest, Mick. So, Gabby, what is Mick to you?
This is Mick, and I deliberately tripped him up during the wheelbarrow race at my son's sports day.
OK, James, how do you know Mick?
This is Mick, and for 6 months, he was my sworn enemy when a practical joke got out of hand.
And finally, Lee.
This is Mick, he's my son, and I'm only allowed to see him every second Friday. Sorry, no, that's not it. This is Mick. I once took him home from nursery instead of my own son.
So there we have it. Is Mick Gabby's cheated child, James's feuding friend, or Lee's traded toddler? David's team, where would you like to begin?
Well, Gabby, the wheelbarrow race, you were also a competitor. What was the format of the race, and how did the accident
Your
happen?
classic sports day wheelbarrow race. Child is the wheelbarrow. I was driving my son as a wheelbarrow, and Mick's mum, Barbara, was driving him. And there's always a lot... I feel our family gets a lot of pressure on sports day because my husband was an international rugby player and I did sport, and people always look at us as if they're the ones to beat. You know, I always feel that added dimension of competitiveness.
You were a rhythm gymnastic, weren't you?
I was a gymnast.
Yeah, I think they're looking more at him. Carry on.
So we were in the lead, my son and I. And you know, like in your peripheral vision, you can feel somebody coming. And as we got to the turn, they were level with us, and my son's arm buckled, and which is for a wheelbarrow race is a bit of a no-no. So it takes you a couple of seconds to recover. So now we're behind.
Quite painful for your son as well. Perhaps that should be the main concern.
Classic sports person. Oh,
That's a no-no! We need this!
We got back level with them, and I'm ashamed, obviously, about what happened next. So I can feel, you know, these horrible thoughts coming into my mind. You know, we could take him out. You know, we could.
Wow! Come on, this is why we've been taking all the drugs.
And I stood on his hand, and so I know.
Deliberately.
You were thinking we should take him out.
So he then slightly buckled. So
Which is a no-no.
He got himself back into the race,
Yeah.
and I decided that I couldn't let us win because that could be construed in some people's eyes as cheating, standing on the opposition's hands.
And in some people's eyes, physical assault.
So I had to then sabotage us because I couldn't let us win. So I deliberately kind of pushed my son into the ground.
So you assaulted 2 children.
I kind of just, you know, pretended to trip onto Reuben. So,
Right.
and then his arms buckled, double buckle, which is a no.
No.
And that meant...
Reuben is your boy.
Yes, oh gosh, yes, yes, yeah.
You know, the one with, the one with the face like that.
All right, who would you like to speak to next?
OK, James. So Mick became your sworn enemy because of a practical joke.
That got out of hand.
That got out of hand.
Yes.
So what was the practical joke or prank?
First of all, I'll say for the record, before we carry on, I hate this boy. I'm nothing but content for him, and I'm furious he's got on this show.
I just think I feel I can only see him every second Friday.
So what was the practical joke, James?
He put cabbage leaves in my bed.
How did he get in your room?
I was staying at his house.
On a sleepover? How old are you?
A few years ago.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have been born.
He was 9.
And you were, what, 31?
I was, what, 28? 29?
And how do you know him?
I know his dad. He's his son.
And you were staying at their house.
Yes.
Why did he put cabbage leaves? Why is that a thing?
Well, it's not a thing until he started doing it.
Yeah.
There's something severely wrong with him. I don't know why he started...
But you say
pulling this kind of
started
stunt.
doing it. Was
Yeah.
What do you mean? This is a one occasion when
Oh,
you're
is it?
staying there. Well, I don't know.
This is the first of many, David. I said got out of hand. I do not use those words lightly.
So you regularly stay at the house of...
Oh, no. Oh. This little man does not restrict these pranks to his own house. He has no respect for anyone's privacy and will cross any boundaries available to him. I hate him with all my heart.
Yeah. So he initially put cabbage leaves in the bed you were sleeping in when you were staying at his father's house.
Yes.
Right? And then subsequently...
Yes.
He has followed you and put cabbage leaves in other places you've been sleeping.
No.
OK? What then?
He sent me a cabbage in the post. He sent me half a cabbage, cling filmed, in a box. I was out when they delivered it. I had to go to the post office to pick it up. There was a note inside that said, "You got cabbaged again."
So, OK, so he's doing that. Did you, bearing in mind that this is a minor, did you at any...
It was a major, as far as I'm concerned.
Did you at any point retaliate?
Yeah, but it took me 6 months.
What did you do?
After 6 months of this...
But you say 6 months of this.
Yeah.
What is this? There's the initial cabbage leaves in the bed at his house.
Yeah.
And there's the posted half cabbage.
Yeah.
Anything else?
His granddad cabbaged me to my face.
What does that mean?
He gave me a present. It was all wrapped up nice. I thought it was a nice present. I unwrapped it. It was another half a cabbage wrapped in cling film. Members of the public started cabbaging me. I made the mistake of talking about it on the radio, and then everyone got the idea, and I couldn't turn up to a gig without there being a cabbage hidden somewhere in my dressing room.
Well, thank God you're playing safe and not saying it on telly, eh? Yeah.
So, did you retaliate?
Absolutely did. I removed all of his belongings from his bedroom and replaced them with cabbages.
That's, I would say, a disproportionate response.
6 months of my life, David. 6 months of my life of not knowing where the next cabbage was coming from. It was horrible. I had to go big. I've been cabbaged so many times. Someone started a Twitter account, was tweeting pictures of cabbages on me every day. They said stuff like, "Oi, oi, Savoy." It was horrible.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg.
It's a lettuce, you idiot!
Oh, but come on, cut me some slack!
No. I would say that
compete with
anyone
that.
who can enjoy that joke about a lettuce would have to be a sociopath.
All right, on to Lee.
Lee, remind us of your story.
This is Mick. I once took him home from nursery instead of my own son.
Why did you not recognise your own son by using your eyes and knowing what he looks like?
I do recognise my own son, but we had this new pram, and the pram, I put him in the pram. He was very young at the time, because, well, you have to go to nursery. And I put him in the pram.
At nursery?
Not a pram, a
It's a
pusher.
buggy.
A pram when they're sort of
A
tiny.
pusher, you make one mistake. You say lettuce instead of cabbage. They're on your back. You say pram instead of pusher. I get to see him every other week. I'm stressed. I put him in the pushchair, and then I got chatting to all the other mums and dads and stuff. Got chatting, turned round. Little did I realise that one of the other parents had exactly the same pushchair, and because he was asleep, I just didn't bother talking to him because I thought he was asleep. Pushed him and got all the way home. Long walk as well, because he goes to school in London and we live in Aberdeen.
How long was it before you realised?
Probably Glasgow. It was about... believe it or not, preferably do.
Yeah, that's very much the question.
Believe it or not, it was as I went into the front door and I pushed him towards my wife, who was coming towards me, and she said, "That is not my son."
But the other mother would have recognised her
Yes.
child. So let's go to the
Let's
other
go
mother.
to the other mother.
What happened there?
So, obviously, I'm not there to see the other mother, because
No, but presumably in the police interview later, you've gone through those details.
No, I knew it would be a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, so I thought I'd better play safe and just keep him. And that's what we did. We just ended up bringing up another child. So I got into the house, pushed him into the house. My wife said, that's not my son. So I went, oh! I realised immediately what had happened, obviously. I turned round and I raced back to the school very quickly. So I got in just in time for them to go, what are you? And then...
So you got back just in time.
Got back in time.
Just before Mick's mother was going to start screaming, my child has disappeared, my child has disappeared.
Yeah, because what had happened is she was getting a bit frantic, but someone had calmed her down by doing the obvious and pointing to the child and saying, use your logic here.
Yeah.
There's a
child abductors don't tend to leave a child as well.
So, David's team. Is Mick Gabby's cheated child?
Maybe.
James's feuding friend?
Maybe.
Or Lee's traded toddler?
No.
I think that the cabbages, that is a good trick, because cabbages, when they get warmed up, stink. I also have, you know, been to many a sports day where the parents do get incredibly competitive. I would probably lean towards Gabby.
What about you, Melvin? Which way are you leaning?
I believe Gabby, but James is just weird, so I believe him even more.
Your paranoid view seems to be the whole country's in on it. Now everyone's sending you cabbages.
Every time people laugh at me, I suspect they're my enemy, which makes my job very difficult.
You think Gabby, but James even more.
And David thinks it's me, so...
Oh, I don't know. James.
You're going for James. Mick, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Mick, and I am James's worst enemy.
Yes. Mick is James's feuding friend, and here's the proof that is what James did to Mick's bedroom. Thank you very much, Mick.